You're listening to REIA Radio, the nationally trusted name in real estate investing. We dig deep to discover investors' why in real estate. If you want to skip all the BS and get in investors' heads, you're in the right spot. Be one of the thousands to check out REIARadio.com.
This episode is brought to you by PropStream.com.
PropStream is one of the most trusted real estate data software solutions. PropStream benefits all real estate professionals. You can find properties and contact homeowners on the go with PropStream's mobile app. We offer free academy courses tailored to real estate investors and agents. Take advantage of our live webinar demos to learn the software and scale your real estate business. Visit www.propstream.com and sign up for your 7-day free trial to get more leads and grow your business.
Welcome to REIA Radio with the Real Estate Rundown with Owen Dashner
and Ted Kaasch. This is we have to go back and do a little what do they call that? The
recap?
No, the forensic deletion of content that we just talked about.
What do we need to forensically delete here, Owen?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Stuff that we should bring up in the podcast that everyone wants to hear?
I don't think so. I mean, this is mutually assured destruction with me and you, buddy. I don't know if you know that.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. What's up, dude?
Oh, yeah, I'm just laughing today. I'll tell you that.
We had a real luncheon today, the monthly.
Yeah.
Boom. Biggest turnout in
it's probably our top 5 best turnout.
Yeah, we had about 50 or so people there. Fun time. I sat next to, this was kind of cool. 3, women were at a table. So, they had an open seat and I just sat down.
Of course you did.
Yeah. And
so you don't just randomly pick the best.
I had a interior designer, a home stager, and a real estate agent, and then another guy joined the table.
Didn't you have like a TV producer or something sitting next to you? She had like a TV show she was talking about?
No, I had a dude next to me. Okay. I'm sorry. Yes. She had a YouTube channel. So is that TV? Are we calling that TV now? I guess.
Well, she had like a flyer for like a demo show.
Yeah, and so she was doing interior design, basically work for builders, homeowners, and et cetera, right? Which that was really cool. I love whenever I go to a social event that's kind of a small to mid-sized group. It's common for you to show up and anybody to show up and just gravitate toward people they know, right? Like that's the common thing. We're like, oh, hey, what's up, bro? And then you go sit down and hang out.
But when you're like us and you know everybody, and you want to sit with people you've never seen before.
And so I was like, I don't know any of the. I know none of these 3 people. I'm just going to sit down and see what's going on. And so I just sat down, introduced myself. They don't know me. I don't know them, and that's how it works. And one of them was kind of a part-time realtor / mom and so forth. And then we had a home staging business owner, and then we had an interior designer / YouTube production person. Because, let's face it, everything's out there now, like video.
Can't get away with anything.
Anyway,
anymore.
Yeah, it was just I love that kind of just interaction where I'm just talking to people that I don't know anything about what they do and how it works. And so I'm asking questions, and it was just a really cool sit down.
I'm going to put this out there, and this is going to sound so funny, but I think that we have one of the best networking events out there, being the guy that goes a lot of networking events for a luncheon out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes deprived that I don't get to sit in and get to know some of these people deeper.
I know that. Because you're right.
Because I'm literally sitting at a table.
You can't talk to everybody.
No, I'm sitting at a table generally alone because I'm running the computer and I'm kind of overseeing what's going on.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, I tried to go table to table, introduce myself, and like, hey, how do you find a group? Just has some interaction. And then at the end, of course, I'm rushing to put everything together because I got to get to the podcast studio.
Yeah.
So I don't get those long conversations. And I just feel like I'm just like,
yeah. I feel your FOMO from afar.
Yes.
That's a lot of F's. So that was cool. So really good real luncheon today. And then I wanted to bring this up just in case somebody catching this hasn't seen my 10,000 posts about it. I started
the part about walking your dog.
Not that part.
Okay.
I do that every day. So anybody that likes Bernese Mountain Dogs, just follow me
There's
at
10,000 posts on that,
odog2424. I post it literally every day. And but no, I started this little group called Caffeine and Cap Rates, and it was I came up with this because I know that in our town, at least in the Omaha area, we have a couple of good, well-attended meetup real estate groups for, mostly investors, but a little bit of everybody goes there that's interested or adjacent to real estate. And you put on the REIA luncheon, and it's always well-attended, and you do an awesome job with that. And then I don't know about you, but I hear a lot of people come up with excuses, and I get it. And I'm not saying they're not valid excuses. I'm just saying they have excuses on why they can't go to the monthly one-night networking event, the REIA event, or the Omaha Real Estate Meetup event, or they can't make it to the REIA luncheon because of life or kids or whatever, right? I've made those same excuses. So I was like, okay, there's got to be a cross-section of people that are doing this that could make it to a coffee. But they can't make it to lunch, or they can't make it to, an evening event or whatever. So I created this event, and it's this. I've only had one. It was yesterday, and it was about, there were, I don't know, like 15, 20 people there, give or take. I mean, there were people coming and going, but basically it was at a coffee shop, Sozo Coffee House, 1314 Jones Street in Omaha. And I'm going to do these every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. For a while.
That's a pretty big commitment for you.
Yeah, I know. I've been thinking about this a long time. And so
do you want the Omaha REIA to back your event as the official backing?
No.
Okay.
I no, because I feel like that will make it then I have to actually be responsible. So but anyway, anybody catching this doesn't know what I'm talking about. If you're not a member of the Omaha REIA Facebook group or the Omaha Real Estate Meetup Facebook group, join both of those. There's a calendar invite there, but it's 10 a.m. Sozo Coffee House. Great spot, big place, has two basically big, rooms front to back. It has a stage. They have musical talent there that comes at night. They've got private study rooms and presentation rooms for anybody that wants to go. You can pay like a couple bucks and whatever. It's awesome.
Okay, so here's a question for you.
Yeah.
You were helping Colin, as I was at one point too, but your name's fairly associated with the Omaha Real Estate Meetup Group.
Yeah.
For the listeners, I get a lot of people reaching out to me and wanting to know why you guys aren't doing consistent events. What's the story?
Well, I'm just the guy behind the guy. Like I don't know.
Are you guys done having events? Are you guys going to continue having events? Because I'm getting probably more calls on it than you guys are.
That's actually that's a fact, because you're the first person to ask me that in a while. But no, I would, yes,
this
for
is
sure.
A deep topic of conversation. Just as cigars last night.
So no, there will for sure be more events. It's just scheduling and summertime. So the deal with this is, Colin, and I have no idea why you brought this up because I'm totally sandbagged here. But Colin has,
because I thought you created this event to fill in the void that they were doing. That's why I asked.
He coaches his kids football and he helps out a lot. So he's
as do I.
Very involved with stuff. Hey, point taken. I'm just proxy here. I'm the guy behind the guy. But anyway, so I think the wintertime we're going to have more regularly scheduled events.
Okay.
Are you happy?
No, I am. Because I know there's some people listening that attend the Omaha Real Estate Meetup events.
Yeah.
And for the locals are probably wondering what the heck is going on, because you guys had an event 2 months ago and we haven't heard since.
Jory, will you please tag Colin Schwartz in this segment of the video? I don't want to. I'm not his freaking attorney or agent. I don't know what's going on. I just help out once in a while. I don't know. But
inquiring minds wanted to know.
Thank you for asking. That was probably a lot of people were wondering that, I'm sure.
So one thing I'm excited about is for our local meetup group, we had David Dodge on the podcast. We're flying him in here in a couple weeks to come speak.
I hope he doesn't punch me to start things off with. All right, so I'm inspired by our upcoming Wednesday guest, Camille Duke. with today's
Golden Nugget.
This golden nugget is brought to you by Magic Door.
Magic Door is the AI-powered property management platform designed to handle everything from the rent cycle to the vacancy and maintenance cycles. During the rent cycle, Magic Door collects rent, sends automatic reminders, deducts management fees, and distributes payments to owners. In the vacancy cycle, Magic Door streamlines listings, tenant applications, seamless multi-language communication, screening tenants, and converting applications into leases with one click. And for the maintenance cycle, Magic Door's AI handles everything, asking tenants key questions, assigning tasks to vendors, and scheduling repairs automatically without you getting involved. With no hidden fees, no onboarding costs, and seamless AI-powered automation, Magic Door takes care of the entire property management lifecycle so you can focus on what matters most.
This, I will say, I was sitting there listening to her talk about this, and I was thinking, that is so obvious. That is such an obvious thing. And then I was sitting there thinking, like, I never thought of this.
Okay, so
like I was like, what? That is obvious and genius at the same time.
You haven't even said it yet, and I know exactly where you're going with this because my mind went the same way. I'm like, how did I not ever think this?
I was sitting there while we were talking to her, and I think I asked a question, and she started talking, and I looked up. It was
the things that she does to buy a property.
Yeah.
And I won't mention the thing that you're going to bring it. I'll let you do it. But she talked about permits.
Yep.
Getting in the county assessor and finding out the loan amount. Checking out with how much money they had down. If they've been through a divorce, death. Also credit card judgments. And
I don't know what your and is.
And is the
okay. Yeah. All right. So sorry. So yeah. All right, this episode that you're going to listen to on Wednesday, Camille Duke, she operates out of Tallahassee, Florida. We only scratched the surface of what her experience is in real estate.
We literally could have gone another hour.
For sure, 100%. But she mentioned something genius, I think. So I was asking her during this episode, and you'll have to listen to it when it comes out because it's a good one. But I was like, she basically said, she was talking about meeting with sellers, and they were telling her how that they have 2.5 or 3% interest rate mortgage, and they have this for their mortgage balance, and so on and so on. And like, she's telling me this like, oh yeah, they freely share this information. That was the gist of it. And I was like, are you encountering any resistance when you're going out on these appointments? And they're like, I don't want to tell you that. Like, somebody asked me what my mortgage interest rate was, my balance. I'd be like, I don't know you well enough to tell you that. Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, I already know that before I show up. And that was what led to this question. So she was talking about basically taking over payments, AKA subject to financing. So she's talking about meeting with sellers of properties that have only owned them for 2 or 3 years, and they probably have a low interest rate, and they're willing to sell them. And I'm like, how do you make that work if there's no equity in it? Because they've only been, paying the mortgage for 2 or 3 years on it, and it's not like we've had an awesome, real estate market the last couple of years. And she goes into detail about saying, well, I look up, and there's different information out there for people depending on what county you're looking in and what state you're looking in for real estate info, right? And so what I'm looking for in Omaha, Nebraska is going to be completely different maybe than what's available in Tallahassee, Florida. But she said she's able to look up the current property. So if you type in the property address or the owner, you can find out what their mortgage was when they bought the property, right? And there's different tools.
And there's apps out there for that.
Yes. Yeah. And you can find out what they bought it for. That's common knowledge. But you can also find out what their mortgage amount was, right? And that'll tell you how much they put down on it. Okay, so Ted, what if somebody bought a house for $300,000 and you do research on it, you find out they have a $300,000 or $298,000 loan. What type of loan did they get?
A VA loan.
Yeah. So that you can get if you qualify for the VA loan program designed for veterans, you can get 100% financing, right? And at the time when these loans were originated, the rates were crazy low compared to what they are now, right? So I was asking her, like, okay, how do you have any idea what the interest rate is? Like, are you just logging in somewhere and all this is just like right there? That would be awesome. And she said, what?
Which she said that her local DC assessor gives her a lot of that information.
Her county assessor in Florida.
Or I'm sorry, I said DC because that's what it's called here.
Yeah, Douglas County assessor here. So yeah, in Florida, she has a lot of information available. And basically she said this. She's like, look, I know all this stuff before I even show up. So they're pretty much an open book because I already know all of it. And if they have a 2.5% mortgage, I know about it because and here's where I'm going with all this. She says the house was purchased in, let's say it was 2021 or 2020, right? So 3 or 4 years ago, interest rates were crazy low at the time for primary residents. So they were 2.5%, 3%. So she'll find out the purchase date, and then she'll go and look at, and there's charts out there. You can Google this. You can say, what was the interest rates for mortgages on January 30th of 2021? And it'll pull up a graph, and you can just plug that in. You could say, okay, I know their interest rate is 3.5%. They've paid it down over the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm going to take over their payments. And she has just such a great disposition model for this and a way to make a lot more money. So I think it's genius what she's doing.
So back in the day, you remember an app called HomeSnap?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Okay, so I paid for the subscription of HomeSnap as a realtor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it recently got bought out by Homes.com. But before the buyout happened, as a person that paid for the subscription, I would get the phone number, the loan amount, the current loan amount, the interest rate, the type of loan, and how many years were on the mortgage. They give you everything as part of it.
Yeah.
With their cell phone number. And now that Homes.com bought it, all that information is no longer available.
Man, that seems like okay. Did you play Nintendo when you were a kid?
Heck yeah, Zelda all day, buddy.
Yeah, Zelda,
Baseball Stars.
Contra, like all the Baseball Stars. That was awesome.
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl. Aiden has no idea what we're talking about. Well, actually, you
Tyson.
have it. Aiden is how old are you? 23, and he probably plays Nintendo or Super Nintendo now as a retro.
I still have my original Nintendo.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I just remember, okay, for those of you Gen Xers out there and retro gamers like Aiden is, now poser, there was this cheat code back then. It was up, down, right, left, A, B, start. Konami.
The fact that he knows that
it was
amazing.
Contra, and there was all these games where you could type in that cheat code, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like we experienced today.
So I
had
a Game Genie.
a Game Genie. What is that? Is that like a hack?
Yeah, it was.
Oh my god, you're one of those.
Your game attached into the Game Genie, and then you had a booklet, and it told you all the codes, so you could get unlimited lives or whatever you wanted.
Okay, that's going a little too far, Ted.
You didn't have a Game Genie?
That's like going into the hard drugs when you're just doing the club drugs. I'm just saying, man. That's kind of cheating.
It was the best thing ever made.
Ted's beating games in like 5 minutes. I'm here slugging it out on Zelda like with an abacus.
Literally, when you had the Game Genie, you could like pick what level you wanted to go to. It was a hack for every video game.
I want to say, okay, this is a humble brag. All right, Aiden, you checking this out? Did you ever play Legend of Zelda, the OG
original
game?
best one?
The gold. It was like sparkly gold,
yes. And you could burn the bushes.
Yes. And okay,
tunnels.
so the final boss is Ganon.
Yep.
You remember this? And it was a mystery, and it was like level 9, I think, like challenge level 9 or whatever. And nobody in my school could figure this out. Nobody. And there were 23 dudes in my class, including me, right? Everybody was like all about Legend of Zelda at the time.
I remember.
And I remember I was like, you know what? I'm just going to approach this is my mindset at the time. I'm like, I'm totally dialed in on this game. I will play it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
I do not care. I have no pride.
Yep.
I literally went square by square around the entire map until I found that upper left corner where it was just block, or it was like a mountain, and you had to go along and plant these bombs, right? And I just bombed the shit out of everything. And I was the first person in my entire town to find where level 9 was, Ganon. I beat it. I'm just saying, I'm kind of champion in my own town.
Legend of Zelda was literally the only video game that my parents ever played. And so
they played that. Mo has played Legend of Zelda.
The only game.
This is awesome.
Because I remember this was like 1986. So, and I'm like in first grade, and my parents are like 21 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just remember like us having to take turns and everybody being so eager to play this game. And we had to limit each other. And we all took turns playing Legend of Zelda. And to this day, I don't remember my parents playing any other video games.
I loved Legend of Zelda. That was still one of my all-time. Like, I remember that game like vividly. Obviously,
and this is a real.
You're welcome. You're welcome, listeners.
Little throwback for you guys. This episode is brought to you by JM Real Estate Capital.
Hi, it's Rob, JM Real Estate Capital. We're the money guys that you need to know for all your real estate investments. Talk to us. We can do what your local bank can't or won't do. We don't have millions. We have trillions with a T to lend. 844 we close, or go online at jmrecapital.com. That's jmrecapital.com. JM Real Estate Capital, smart solutions for the real estate investor.
Hey guys, make sure you guys listen in. We have a great podcast on Wednesdays. We talked about the Golden Nugget. I think you're going to absolutely love Camille. And hopefully we can even get her maybe in Omaha to talk more about her business and do another recap, because again, we did not even get where we needed to. We should have gone old school back to our 2.5 hour podcast days on this one.
Part 1, part 2, part 3.
Yeah, because that's where it was. But I appreciate you guys listening, and please give us a 5-star review. Share us with somebody out there that could appreciate the content that we put out, and that's the biggest gift that you could give us, is just sharing us with the community.
We love gifts.
And with that, Owen Dashner, we see us out.
On behalf of Aiden Bear, Ted Kaasch, and REIA Radio,
and Owen Dashner,
you've been listening to the Real Estate Rundown.
Ooh, I like that voice.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of like my intro, but you've taken it to the next level on the
Rundown.
outro. Rundown. Sign off.